Angus King, born in 1944 in Virginia, has had a distinguished career in public service. He grew up in Alexandria, Virginia, and displayed an early interest in politics and public affairs, early life, and education. King attended Dartmouth College, earning his bachelor's degree in 1966. He then pursued a law degree at the University of Virginia, graduating in 1969. His education laid a strong foundation for his future political career. Early career. King initially worked as a staff attorney for Pine Tree Legal Assistance in Skowhegan, Maine. He later served as chief counsel to the U.S. Senate Subcommittee on Alcoholism and Narcotics in the Office of Vice President of the United States. Political career in Maine. King's political career took a notable turn when he was elected as the 72nd Governor of Maine in 1995, serving as an independent. His tenure as governor, which lasted until 2003, was marked by a focus on education, mental health care, and environmental issues. U.S. Senate career. In 2012, King was elected to the U.S. Senate, again as an independent, filling the seat vacated by retiring Republican Senator Olympia Snowe. In the Senate, King has been known for his moderate and independent voting record, often bridging gaps between Democrats and Republicans. He has served on several committees, including the Intelligence Committee and the Committee on Armed Services. Current motivations and positions. King's current legislative interests and motivations include addressing climate change, promoting renewable energy, ensuring national security, and advocating for healthcare reform. He is known for his pragmatic approach to governance and his willingness to work across party lines. King's career reflects a commitment to public service and a pragmatic approach to policymaking. His role as an independent in the U.S. Senate highlights his unique position in the current political landscape, often acting as a bridge in a highly polarized environment. Let's get into some key provisions of the GOSAFE Act. Regulations of GOSAFE. Gas-operated semi-automatic firearms Exclusionary Act. The bill seeks to regulate the sale, transfer, and manufacture of these firearms by establishing a list of prohibited firearms, preventing unlawful modifications, mandating approval for new designs, and curbing unlawful self-assembly and manufacturing. Protecting Second Amendment rights. It includes exemptions based on firearms established to use for self-defense, hunting, and sporting purposes. These exemptions are based on maximum ammunition capacity, which must be permanently fixed to the firearm, preventing the use of detachable high-capacity magazines, limiting high-capacity ammunition devices and conversion devices. The Act aims to limit the number of rounds in large-capacity ammunition, feeding devices to 10 or fewer. It also seeks to make conversion devices like bump stocks and Glock switches unlawful. Senator King emphasized that the focus of the GOSAFE Act is on the functional aspects of the firearm that contribute to their lethality, rather than their appearance. The goal is to prevent future tragedies while respecting responsible gun ownership. This legislation reflects a balanced approach, aiming to enhance public safety while ensuring constitutional rights. Support for the GOSAFE Act. The White House and gun safety advocates. The bill received support from the White House, with the Office of Gun Violence Prevention endorsing efforts to keep assault weapons and high-capacity magazines out of dangerous hands. President Biden's history of advocating for assault weapon bans adds to this support. Representative Shelley Pingree, as a longtime advocate for an assault weapons ban, Pingree expressed her support, suggesting that strong gun legislation might have prevented the Lewiston shooting. In what world would criminals abide by the law? And we should be looking at the government and at military. They failed, not us citizens. Do not punish us citizens for doing nothing wrong when both laws that were already enacted here in Maine in the government and the Army failed. Maine and New York failed state-wise to make sure that this individual, an alleged human being who is a piece of trash, he who must not be named, the Lewiston mass shooter, we, the constituents, are not responsible. You are. You. So answer for it. And in Pingree, you don't know what you're saying. So stop talking. Stop. Also, there was support from gun reform activists. Go figure. They don't care about America, the Constitution, patriotism, or anything. You want to leave America? I'll help you pack. Bye. There are people in the world that are willing to fill your place, that are willing to put up with whatever you think you can't put up with here in America. There are people out there willing to do just that. I would rather them be here than you. So I'll help you pack your bag, skedaddle. So, okay, Fred Gutenberg, whoever the he is, a prominent gun reform activist, supports the bill. Ooh, believing it would help reduce gun violence and associated death rate. You're a dumb... No, but seriously, who are you? Maybe I'll do a video just on you. Maybe you're not even worth it. I can't say that. Moving on. Criticism of the GOSAFE Act, National Rifle Association, NRA, and other gun right advocates. The NRA and similar organizations oppose the bill, arguing that it infringes on constitutional rights and doesn't effectively address the root cause of gun violence. Maine state representatives, State Representative Donald Arnold and State Representative Joshua Morris, have criticized the bill for what they see as violations of civil rights and ineffective solutions that target law-abiding citizens rather than addressing underlying issues such as mental health. Gun Owners of Maine. This group maintains opposition to any legislation that they perceive as infringing on the right to bear arms, emphasizing that the issue lies in human intent rather than the firearms themselves. Political divides. The bill has not received explicit support from Republican representatives, indicating a partisan divide on the issue. Representative Jared Golden, a Democrat, indicated a shift in his stance towards supporting an assault weapons ban following the Lewiston shooting. But no Republicans have pledged support for the GOSAFE Act. Jared Golden. It's a good thing you're retiring. You don't change your stance like that, having come from the military. Shame on you. These varied responses showcase the complex and deeply rooted opinions on gun control and Second Amendment rights in the United States. The debate over the GOSAFE Act reflects broader national conversation about how to balance public safety with constitutional freedoms. The Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, part of the Bill of Rights, explicitly states a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This amendment has been the subject of extensive legal and political debate regarding the extent of the right to keep and bear arms for individuals versus regulated militias, and how this right applies to modern gun ownership and regulation. In the context of the Second Amendment, infringed generally refers to the act of violating, undermining, or encroaching upon the right of the people to keep and bear arms. This term has been central to legal interpretations and debates regarding the extent and limitations of gun rights in the United States, particularly concerning how government regulations and laws can interact with this constitutional right without violating it. In the context of the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, arms refers broadly to weapons. Historically, this encompassed the types of weapons commonly used for individual and militia defense at the time the amendment was written, such as muskets and rifles. Over time, the definition of arms, as it relates to the Second Amendment, has been subject to legal interpretation and debate, particularly in regards to the inclusion of modern firearms. The scope and types of weapons covered under this term continue to be a significant aspect of legal discussions and court rulings related to gun rights and regulations. Senator Angus King's use of assault weapon, in the context of the GOSAFE Act, is not defined by specific models of assault rifles, but rather focuses on the functionality and lethality of the weapons. Key aspects of this definition include limitation on magazine capacity. The bill aims to limit the bullet capacity of magazines to 10 rounds for rifles and shotguns and 15 rounds for handguns. Ban on detachable magazines. The proposal includes banning detachable magazines that facilitate rapid reloading. Instead, magazines would be fixed and internal, requiring manual reloading of weapons. Focus on weapon lethality. Senator King emphasizes the lethality of the weapon rather than its appearance. The bill is designed to focus on the functional aspects that make a weapon more lethal. Regulations on manufacture and sale. The GOSAFE Act would prohibit the manufacture, sale, and resale of guns that do not meet these regulations. However, firearms already manufactured could be passed down or sold back to the government through a buyback program. Additionally, the bill would ban bump stocks, which enable guns to fire like machine guns. This approach represents a shift from traditional definitions based on the physical features of assault weapons to a focus on their functional and lethal characteristics. Okay, so as a paralegal, I have an associate's in paralegal studies. I want to continue my legal studies. You gotta define words. We defined arms and we defined the different aspects of infringed and arms. So those are certain words within this. But then beyond that, we also have to define assault weapon. What does that mean? Because to assault someone, you don't have to actually physically cause harm. You just have to make the other person believe you are going to cause harm. So legally, there is a whole lot of room for interpretation, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So the term assault weapon in my book is coming for my freedoms. It's coming for my freedoms. That's my opinion. I don't like assault weapon. I don't like it. The term assault weapon is controversial and lacks a consistent, universally accepted definition, leading to varied interpretations based on the context and the individuals or entity defining it. This ambiguity stems from several factors. Physical characteristics versus functionality. Some definitions focus on cosmetic features of the weapon, like pistol grips or military style appearance, while others are based on functionality, such as rapid fire capability or magazine capacity. Legal definitions vary. Different jurisdictions and laws define assault weapons in various ways. For instance, the 1994 federal assault weapons ban, which has since expired, defined them based on specific features, but states and localities have their own definitions. Political and public perception. The definition can be influenced by political perceptions and public sentiment. Advocates for gun control and gun rights often have differing views on what constitutes an assault weapon. Changing technology. Advances in firearm technology can outpace legislation, leading to new types of weapons that may not fit existing definitions. However, as a close friend and coworker of mine has said, and I'm going to take credit for this quote until he speaks up, technology changes, but our rights do not. Technology changes, but our rights do not. Let me say that one more time. Technology changes, but our rights do not. Got it? Don't forget it. Hold on to it. Fight for it. Freedom is not free. We have to fight for it. We have to earn it and deserve it. Because of these factors, the definition of assault weapon can change over time and vary depending on who is in charge and their legislative or regulatory priorities. This inconsistency contributes to the ongoing debate and controversy surrounding gun control laws and regulations of specific types of firearms. In legal terms, Assault is defined as an intentional act by one person that creates an apprehension in another of an imminent, harmful, or offensive contact. It involves the fear or apprehension of violence, though no physical contact needs to occur. This definition can vary slightly by jurisdiction, but generally encompasses the threat or attempt to inflict physical harm on someone, potentially creating a criminal offense. This differs from battery, which is the actual physical impact or unlawful touching. In this context of legal charges, assault does not necessarily involve physical contact, but rather the reasonable threat or fear of such contact. The term assault weapon, in legal and legislative context, typically refers to a specific category of firearms, not to any object used to commit an assault. While theoretically, any object used in an attack could be described colloquially as a weapon in an assault, legally and politically, the term assault weapon is almost exclusively associated with certain types of firearms that are defined by specific characteristics or functionalities, such as semi-automatic rifles with certain features. This definition is distinct from the general legal concept of assault, which refers to the act of threatening or attempting violence. My follow-up question is, for how long? Like, it's separate. Assault weapon is separate from assault, but also theoretically and colloquially, it does mean assault. So assault weapon, if you break it down to assault and to weapon, those words mean different things than what assault weapon means. You take assault weapon, and then you take assault, and you take weapon separately and legally, and in the court of law, that can be argued. So who's to stop someone from arguing once we get assault weapon into the books as illegal? Where does that slippery slope stop? Because I have questions, I have concerns, I have qualms, I have all of it. Halt the horses, let's see what we're doing, let's reevaluate and go from there. If you're on board with me, go ahead and leave some comments down below. I don't think I'm alone in this. I don't think I'm alone in Maine. I don't think I'm alone in the US. I don't think I'm alone in the world. And since this channel kind of represents all of those things, I would love all of your feedback. You guys, my community, my followers, you mean so much to me. I appreciate you. I appreciate you following along to the end of this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.